Hello cherry lovers, today I'm going to be sharing with you my pancake sausage on a stick, and it's delicious, quick, and simple. Stay tuned. Let's talk about our ingredients for this recipe. First of all, we've got our sausage over here, and I will talk about that shortly, but we're also going to be using pancake mix. Now, you can use pancake mix out of the box for this recipe. That's perfectly fine. I've used it before when I was in a rush and needed to get something done quickly, but I'm going to give you my pancake recipe, and it's very, very good. It's perfect fluffy pancakes. So here are my ingredients. In this bowl, we have 1.5 cups of flour. I've already added in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, also a teaspoon of sugar, also a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. That is our dry ingredients. And in this bowl, we have 1 egg, and we have some buttermilk over here. We have a 3/4 cup of buttermilk. Now, if you don't have any buttermilk, this is something that a little trick I learned a little while ago, and it works like a charm. First of all, I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm not using regular milk. You can use whole milk. You can use 2% milk. I'm actually using plant milk, but the way you make it, buttermilk, is simply take you a cup of milk, any kind of milk that you want. I wouldn't suggest using skim milk. It may not have a very good flavor, but you add 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and you let that sit for about 5 or 10 minutes, and you've got instant buttermilk. Okay, let's go on. So again, we have some vegetable oil here, and we're going to start combining the ingredients. But first I wanted to tell you about the sausage over here. Now these are my favorite. You can use any kind of sausage links that you like, but I love Bob Evans sausage. So these are Bob Evans sausage links, and what you want to do, you want to cook up your sausage, and you'll see me taking a stick shortly and putting this in here. So you want to let your sausage cool off completely so that you don't burn your hand. And then take you a paper towel after you cook it and kind of dab it to get some of the grease out. Okay, let's get started over here. As I said, we've got our dry ingredients here. The next thing we want to do is we've got this egg here. We want to beat that egg up a little bit. And then we're going to add in our buttermilk. See how that's curdled already? We'll get that out. Now, this batter is going to be a bit thicker than your regular pancake batter because we want it to hold on the sausage on that stick. Just mix that up. Okay, you've got your egg, you've got your buttermilk. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Okay. That's our 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And next we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of water. Okay. Now we're just going to mix that up. Get that mixed up in there. These are our wet ingredients. And then we're simply going to stir in the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. You can use a fork with this also if you don't have a whisk. And just mix that up really well. Don't over mix because you don't want your pancakes to be tough. But it's unless you really, really vigorously for a long time do this, it's kind of hard to overmix. Make sure you remove everything from the sides, all the flour from the sides. You want to get all the powder mixed in there. You will have lumps. That's perfectly okay. Okay. That's good. Now, the one thing I wanted to show you about these, I'm going to put this over here. And what I have here is called skinny sticks. They're made of real wood. And now the one difference I want to show you in these is that they're flat. Can you see that? They're flat sticks. They don't have a point on them. Just in case you're making them for children. Then the kids, you don't have to worry about them getting stuck with the stick. But I assure you that not just the children will love these, but your adult children will love these too. My children are all grown, but they love this type of food, and so does Larry, the biggest child in the house. But here we go. You take the sausage. Now remember, dab it. Make sure the oil is off, but make sure it's cool because you can pick that up right after you cook it, and it's going to be very hot and you will be burned. Try to center it. It's so simple. Stick it in the middle. Stick it through all the way to the top. And if you go through, it's okay. If you sort of go through the top, and even if you break it, it's okay. Your batter's going to cover it. But let me do another one because that one didn't do very good. Kind of tore that one a little bit. But again, and these are really cooled off. You don't have to worry about burning yourself because I have burnt myself. Just press through. And there you go. Sausage on the stick. Let's do one more. Press it best you can right in the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect. Push it up through. There you go. Sausage on a stick. So it's real simple. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to pour our vegetable oil into the skillet. You got to get this up to 375 degrees. So if you have a metal oil, I saw one in the store or I saw one online, but I never picked one up. So I have to get this to a very hot temperature. And you don't want to get it too hot, so don't put it on high. Put it on about medium, and then let your oil get very hot. I have a little more oil up here because you need to get this oil at least about 2 inches deep into your skillet and bring it to about 375 degrees. And make sure you have your tongs handy because you want to be able to take your stick and turn it. But the most important thing you want to remember, which I'll go over this again when we get there, do not, once that grease reaches temperature, do not let it stay longer than 1 minute. And usually anywhere, depending on how hot that gets, because my stove gets really hot, even at a medium temperature, 30 to 45 seconds is sufficient. And sometimes, depending on your stove, it'll take about a minute. Okay, there's one more thing I wanted to show you with the batter. We want to have everything in place because once that grease gets hot, you're going to have everything ready to go. So you want to carefully pour into your glass, your jar. Mine is just a heavy plastic. Bring your batter almost to the top. It doesn't have to be. Just deep enough to cover your sausage stick. So what we're going to do here is we dip that batter right in there, and voila. Make sure you let the excess batter drip off, and it's just that simple. Now I'm going to let that grease come to temperature, and then I'll show you how to do the next step. Before I show you how to drop the sausage into the hot grease, I wanted to show you something. I wanted an apron for a long time because I have a horrible habit of leaving stains all over my tops. And every one of my tops that I drop stains on, especially grease, then they're ruined and I can't get it out. And I've tried everything online that you can Google to get that out, and it never works. So my granddaughter, her name is Quenisha, she bought this for me for my birthday. I had a recent birthday, and she bought this for me, and I'm so excited. It's lovely. So I thought I'd share that with you. Okay, let's get started on this. Now, you simply dip this in here, as I said. Take that out. Make sure you're not dripping any batter, and drop that into the grease. Okay, and here's another one. You dip that into the batter. As you can see, this is a pretty good size thick batter. Take it out and drop that into the grease. Now, the reason you wanted to have this already ready, oops, that one is kind of thick. That's never happened before, but it's the first time for everything. Just let that drip off. You don't want to put more than 3 of them at a time in there. Drop that into the grease. The reason you want to have the sticks already ready, as I said, because it only takes anywhere from 30 seconds to 45 seconds, sometimes maybe a minute. And then you flip those. Otherwise, they will cook too fast. And you can kind of check them to see how they're doing. But I've got the timer set. And when that timer stops, then we will take them out. And, of course, our taste tester is here today. He's willing to taste test. And that is Larry. But this is a really, really just amazing recipe. And I haven't been doing it very long. But we're having a family reunion this weekend, and I thought that it would be a lot of people and that this would be a great and quick and simple breakfast. You can freeze these if you want, or you can at least keep them in the refrigerator for 4 days. Now that timer is getting ready to stop. I'm going to stop it, and then you want to flip that over. That is not quite dark enough for me, but it is turning. And sometimes this will do that too. They'll flip right back over, so that's okay. If they flip over, just flip them back over. And this grease is deep enough to maybe that you don't have to turn them over. You might be able to put those into a, let's see, a Dutch oven. I said in order to make a lot of them at one time, I use my Dutch oven because it's a pretty good size and it's oblong and you can put more in there. I've never tried my electric fry pan, but I think I'm going to try that. I flip that over and give it another minute on the other side, and they will turn golden. They don't have to, again, if you watch them carefully, they'll get darker. You don't want them too dark. Okay. I'm gonna let the grease come off. Now we're gonna do a couple more. Remember, dip that down in there. And again, the reason you want these on the stick already, because they will cook fast. You don't want them to cook too fast. So dip that in your batter. This cup works amazing if you drop it in there, because then you don't have to worry about trying to cover the whole thing. You dip it down into that glass cup that's deep enough. Let your batter drip off. Make sure you let go of some of that excess batter and then drop it right into the grease. We're going to do one more. As you can see, twist that around, bring it out, let go of the batter, make sure it's not dripping, and also drop that in and set your timer. If you don't have a timer on your stove, you can set it someplace else. That's perfectly fine. And give it that minute, and after the minute you can flip them over, but let them cook for that 1 minute. These are so delicious, guys, and I have a new recipe coming up, but I'm going to try it first. I have never tried it, but it's going to be grits and shrimp, and I've had it at the restaurant, but I've never tried it myself. So we're going to try that. That's going to be the next recipe that comes up. Okay, our minute is just about up. I'm going to turn the timer off so that it doesn't go off while I'm talking. And then we're going to flip those over and let that cook for 1 more minute. Set our timer. And there you have it. So simple, guys. So simple. I'm going to put them on a plate, get the syrup out so we can get our taste tester to try them. That's coming up. Stay tuned. Okay, Larry's our taste tester. He is going to tell us how these corn dogs on a stick, but they're breakfast pancake sausage on a stick. He's going to tell us what they taste like. You want to try that out?
Yeah, buddy. These are looking really, really good. I'm telling you what, they look like corn dogs, but she told me they're not corn dogs, and I get to dip them in this syrup here, so I'm going to try it. I'm going to tell you what, people. I bet you can eat a half a dozen of these and forget you're eating them, and then you're going to get too full, but these are delicious. Breakfast is quick and easy on these after they make them. But yeah, if you like this video, tell Joyce these are fantastic. Make them, let her know how you like them. So like and subscribe, come back and see us, and Joyce will have more videos coming up. Bye now. I'm going to eat these now. These are good.